30 laps complete. Schrader continues to hold the front spot. There's Andy Houston, who runs it in 7th. Here's the lead battle with Greg Biffle just a couple of truck lengths back. So far in this quadruple header weekend, you have to be the son of a racer to win. John Blewett III won the 100-lap modified race that had 30 lead changes officially, actually over 50 times the lead changed hands. And this morning, Martin Truex Jr., whose dad won the first Busch North race here at New Hampshire some years ago, the 19-year-old went to victory lane.
Where would you say Ned would fit into this equation that you're talking about?
I say Sunday looks pretty good.
Oh, the records don't go that far back, dude.
Oh, come on.
Well, these trucks are just so evenly matched right at the moment. It's hard to say who's got what right now. Biffle's right in the tire tracks. So Kenny Schrader, our leader, as they go through the corner. I'm looking for something you would work on as far as maybe a weakness. I don't see one.
They have pulled away a little bit, Schrader and Biffle, from the third place truck of Kurt Busch. Not too far, but he was right up there on their bumper a few laps ago, and you can see the distance there now.
Schrader, Biffle, and Kurt Busch in 3rd. Then Joe Ruttman, trouble down in turn 1, smacking the wall, and another hard right front hit, and the driver is out very quickly.
That's Lance Norrick, and he's getting out of that truck. Anytime you see fire under that hood when it's cocked up on one side, the first thing you want to do is put about 30 yards in between you and the truck.
He got out of it, and the safety workers were there very quickly to extinguish that fire.
Not quite evident what happened, Ned. There's a skid mark leading up to the turn 1 wall and a tire mark, but I'm not sure if that's from Norrick's truck or if it may have been from the Busch North race earlier today. Norrick had his best finish of the season last week in Milwaukee, 7th. But this mile track not kind to him today, and we're under caution for the 2nd time today at lap 34.
And this is somewhat of a break for Marty Houston, who had spun earlier. No caution when he spun, and the leaders were not too far from putting him a lap down. So this lets him catch up now. So a good break for Marty.
So 34 laps are complete. Ken Schrader leads. Greg Biffle and Kurt Busch. CBS Sports coverage of the New Hampshire 200 continues after this message and a word from your CBS station. If you or someone you know is thinking about adopting a child, you don't want to miss 60 Minutes, Sunday on CBS. Caution out for Lance Norrick as the hook is going to pull him back to the garage. 36 laps complete. Ken Schrader did not make a pit stop under this caution, but many of the others did that were running up front. Let's have a look at pit stops. Kurt Busch on the upper left of your screen. In the middle, the red truck is Greg Biffle, and at the bottom left is Joe Ruttman. Now look at the bottom right where that Dodge is being worked on. They're going to drop Ruttman, and he's going to just jump right out in front of traffic.
Boy, he did. Steve Grissom was in there in the car, truck number 43. He made a great pit stop.
He did. Grissom comes up to 9th on the leaderboard. So Schrader, the leader, and Michael Dokken, who did not pit, moves up into 2nd place. 37 laps complete. We'll come back for the green flag after this. They've just waved the green flag for the restart here at New Hampshire. 39 laps complete. That's Schrader out front, right where he's been most all day. Michael Dokken did not pit. He is 2nd. Ricky Hendrick, in only his 2nd Truck Series start, is 3rd. Steve Prescott, the New England Pro Truck champion, is 4th, and Brad Bennett from out of the Busch North Series battles for 5th. They did not pit. Everyone else did.
Greg Biffle in the truck number 50 came out first of those who did pit, so he restarted the race in 6th position. He changed tires, right side tires.
And you saw that light blue truck of Ruttman's, that jump he got out in front of traffic, got him a lot of good track position.
Well, I'll tell you, this is heavy traffic right here. Andy Houston goes between a couple of trucks there.
That was, and the 27 truck, there was 3 wide. There was Andy Ginsman. He was caught on the outside. Again, he's hung on the outside as they come through the corner.
Ginsman falling to, he's a lap down. Being passed by the leaders who jockey for position mid-pack. Oh, and he gets into him, and Ginsman's going to go around hard into the wall, and he takes the number 9 of Lance Hooper with him.
And he slides up in front of the truck number 72 of Randy McDonald.
Oh, poor Randy. He's about the most luckless fellow that's been in this truck series. Things just happen right in front of him. He had a hole to go through, but it closed right up. There's Hooper, the West Coast star, damage to the left front of his Ford.
And that was one thing. The 27 there, Ginsman, just couldn't get out of the way. He's having trouble. I think I'd park that baby if I was him.
One truck got into the side of Gensman, and we'll wait for the replay. I have a number in mind.
Oh, Randy.
But we'll wait.
Randy, you're on fire, son. He's going along. He has no idea right at the moment how much flame he has on the bottom side.
He might. Look at all the smoke in the cockpit.
Yep.
Well, he figured it out there right quick. He's going to get out of that thing, which is a smart thing to do.
Spotters on the horn indicating McDonald stopped and out of that truck. 4th of July was last week. The fireworks, though, carry over to today.
And he left just an oil trail all the way down the back straightaway behind this truck. They'll have to send a cleanup crew out there to take up all the oil that come out of the bottom side of that car.
First thing he wanted to do, though, was get out and see what was happening under there. See if it's something he could fix, get that truck back, and get him back out on the racetrack.
Fremont, Ohio's Andy Gensman climbing out. He is okay. And
See this, Mike? This is the oil trail that I'm talking about, all the way down the back straightaway there. They'll have to do something with that. That is very, very slick on these slick tires that they run on the trucks.
Brad Bennett, who did not make a pit stop under the prior caution, does, as does Steve Grissom and Steve Prescott. Let's see which of those blue trucks got into the side. Yes, it was the 3 of Brian Reffner. Just upsets the 27 of Gensman there.
Well, Gensman right there gets clipped. As he was caught on the outside 2 or 3 laps there and just trying to stay out of the way, and sometimes there's nowhere to go, and he got clipped a little bit, and just too bad.
Here comes poor old Randy McDonald, and the hole closes up on him.
Yeah, he thought when he made that decision to go high, he said, that's wide open up there. I got no problem. I can go up there and go around them. Then all of a sudden that hole closed up on him.
McDonald was 6th at Daytona, has only one top 15 finish since.
Boy, that was a good shot. You're right. Brian Reffner just got right up there and give him a clipping. Ow.
That's going to leave a mark.
Here it is again. Of course, you got that many trucks running that close together. There's several going to be involved.
Now the spotter is telling McDonald the top side of the track is clear, and it is.
So then.
But Gensman's truck, apparently in all that wrecking, had lost its brakes, couldn't stop, came right up there in front of Randy McDonald.
That's Jim Engelbright you're riding with there. You see right now he's trying to get back up to speed, get out of there.
And now still 3 trucks have not made pit stops. Ken Schrader, Michael Dokken, and Ricky Hendrick, as they work on the number 9 of Lance Hooper. And since pit road has been open for a while, likely they are not going to stop under this caution.
Most of the time, if they're going to, they'll do it on the first lap that the pits are open.
Ralph, why has Ken Schrader not been to pit road?
Well, Mike, a couple of reasons. The first is the lap times on his tires. On the opening laps, he was running about a 30.80. In the last few laps, he's been running a 30.86. So consistency-wise, he's still right there as far as the consistency of the speed out of those tires. What they're really watching now is their fuel. Kenny's fuel window is about 75 laps, and they're really trying to keep an eye on these yellow flag laps, see how many they can get in and start doing the math on that. That could really come into play here for this team. The only thing that Kenny was concerned about was on the first caution. He thought he might have run over a piece of debris on the racetrack, but he said, guys, I'm sticking with it. We're staying out. I might have run over something, but I'm not too concerned about it yet.
Now that green flag we saw does not restart the race. It merely signifies pit road is open. Dick Bergeron, the teams can take on as many as 2 tires, but no more on a caution flag pit stop. But that previous caution, some drivers took no tires.
Yeah, Bobby Hamilton was one of those, Mike. They talked it over, he and crew chief Fred Planke, and they simply decided that no tires was the answer because there is a limit to the number of tires that they can have here. They only get 4 sets. They've already burned up one of those sets in practice and qualifying, so they got just 3 for the race. So Hamilton's conserving his tires for the tail end.
Remember, too, Bobby Hamilton and Ken Schrader are here on guest appearances. They're here to win the race. They're not point chasing. They're not worried about the full season. They have one goal, and that's how do you win.
That's exactly right. Figure out how you can win. Now, if this thing should go green for a while on Kenny Schrader, we've run 45 laps, and I'm sure that you mentioned that he's got about a 70-lap fuel window. That's only 25 laps from now, but these cautions will help some. So say he can get another 5 laps. So that's only going to be about 25 to 30 laps that he has to go. If this thing goes green, he's going to have to come in for gas. If he has to do that under the green flag, that's going to be a killer.
Good point, Ned. We're at 46 laps, and Schrader's about 30 laps from needing fuel. We'll be back to New Hampshire International Speedway right after this. Get complete NASCAR standings online. You can sort standings by money won, drivers, by rookies, or by owners. Just click on auto racing at cbs.sportsline.com. AOL keyword is CBS Sportsline. Next weekend, top senior tennis players, including Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe, and Patrick Cash, slug it out at the Quality Challenge on CBS. Welcome back to New Hampshire International Speedway. Mike Joy with Ned Jarrett and Buddy Baker, as Ken Schrader has yet to make a pit stop, as has Michael Dokken and Ricky Hendrick, who finished 6th in his only Craftsman Truck Series appearance at Colorado Springs earlier this season.
Impressive start for that young man. Of course, he is the son of Rick Hendrick, who's a multi-car owner in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series.
Pretty decent equipment, I think.
Yeah.
As good as it gets.
Well, we've raised the question of when Ken Schrader will have to pit. Let's find out from Ralph.
Wally Brown is Kenny Schrader's crew chief. Wally, what's your story as far as when you're going to pit? When you coming down here?
Well, that first caution came out lap 30 there, and we just felt that was a little too early to come in, and we kind of thought the rest of the guys would stick out there with us, but they all went with the 50 truck. So we're just going to ride, and, hopefully there's a caution closer to our range where we're hoping to pit close to lap 80. So.
Are you concerned that you might have to pit under green and then hang yourself out?
Oh, that's always a concern, but, we feel like, staying out was the right thing to do, so we're going to stick by it.
They're taking a gamble on it, Mike.
Yes, they are. They've got about 30 laps left in that fuel window.
Okay, so he said 80 laps. We were talking 70 earlier, so that gives him a little bit more.
And second place point man coming into this race, Jack Sprague. They have worked on that truck long enough to load it on the truck.
Yeah, and you look at that truck, and there should be stuff all the way out to here.
Stuff?
So, yeah, that should be radiator and all kind of sheet metal and ductwork is gone. So it was too severe to go on.
And had to be a lot of front end frame damage as well.
They will fix that truck to race again, but not today. Ron Hornaday won the inaugural Craftsman truck race here at Loudon. Chase Sauter, Andy Houston, and Dennis Setzer have been in victory lane just behind the front straightaway. And of those, only Andy Houston remains running in this race presently, and he is in the 10th position after his pit stop.